rap caviar, huh?
It's just me. It's just a playlist I've curated for myself.
You rap caviar? I knew it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if other people listen, that's cool too. But
guarantee whoever curates the rap caviar is definitely white.
Just like Spotify's CEO's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they know trap music, so it's cool. Really in the trap.
I'm Alexander Edward.
And I'm Tony Boswell.
And we are Minion Death Cult. History is ending. Future generations will never know who's responsible. And we're documenting it.
It will be a mystery.
So our first topic regards the University of North Carolina and leftist agitators once again trying to erase history by tearing down the Silent Sam monument to history. It's really sad when just these memorials to history get disrespected and torn down.
It's like, what are we gonna do next? Take away my family tree?
Like if we're gonna memorialize anything, I think it should be history.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's why, like, when people get mad at, seeing like Nazis openly walking around or like, traditional masculine men walking. It's just they're just representing history.
Yeah, it's like they're like Civil War reenactments, right?
Yeah, they're neither good nor bad. They're just recognizing that Nazis exist.
That's it.
And there's nothing good or bad about that.
They're not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that fascism wasn't real.
I'm going to be honest with you. Fascism exists, and I perpetuate it. And that's just it.
I'm not going to deny it. Can't deny facts and logic.
Sorry you hate the fact that I'm a fascist. Deal with it, snowflake.
You have no choice. I'm a fascist.
Okay, so students at the University of North Carolina just got tired of history. They were like, boo, we hate this class. Like, even when we're not in class, we have to see history on this monument.
I just want to be a history major. I don't want to actually, acknowledge the truths.
Just want that piece of paper, baby. Give me that diploma. Forget about the knowledge and the heritage.
I just want to get my history degree so I can be a YouTuber.
Podcaster.
Oh.
So I can do, Radical Remembering. A history podcast. Okay, so, yeah, let's watch this video that happened Monday night of these students tearing down Silent Sam on the campus of the University of North Carolina. And we do have to warn you, if you're watching the video feed, which you should definitely be doing on either patreon.com or YouTube, if this is the teaser clip we decide to upload, it's either going to be this one or the final segment. This one might be more viral or more clickbaity. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Either way, watch this shit. But be warned, it's graphic content, graphic stuff.
Not for the queasy.
No, and like you said, Tony, if you have children in the room, maybe like take their phone away and make them watch this.
Yeah, make them pay close attention.
Yeah. Now, if you're not watching, students have tied ropes to the statue, which is currently covered up by giant banners, like they're holding poles and banners that sort of envelop the statue. And these poles and banners have the names of victims of racism drawn on them, written on them, and then there's a large red stripe across that says "Not one more." And some people might find it, inspiring or heartwarming that they've chosen to cover up this statue with, people who deserve remembering instead. I, however, think it sort of betrays their shame at what they're doing. They're trying to cover it up. It's like when you eat that like really sinful chicken embryo meal, and you have to put a napkin over your head because you don't like want anyone to see your shame. I feel
so
like that,
decadent.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's so indulgent.
right. I feel like that's kind of what they're doing here.
It just feel a bit it feels like a Sodom and Gomorrah scene. It feels really just filthy. Yeah.
You better be watching this video because we could turn into pillars of salt at any moment for beholding this sight. Rolls so hard.
Yeah. It falls so great, head first.
Yeah.
I need to know what that hat says.
Face down in the dirt, he said, this doesn't hurt. Just kidding. He didn't say shit because he's Silent Sam. But
yes, and he's made out of bronze.
Oh, it says do it like Durham. Yeah, dude. Do it like Durham. That's what the hat says.
I don't know what that means.
It's Durham, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a weird thing to go for.
Well, they're doing it right here, baby. I think that's a narc right there videoing everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome video.
Yeah, it rules. It rules super hard.
Just nothing but wholesome feels.
I like it when you can hear they're pulling on the rope. The one guy's hanging from the rope. They're pulling on
in
it.
a good way, like with his hands.
With his hands to pull weight down. And you can hear like the metal creak, like, and then the whole crowd's like, "This is gonna fucking work."
Yeah.
And then it comes down, and it's really head first.
So there's like a lot of responses. You know, we're gonna get into the responses to this on Facebook, but some of the responses that aren't really represented in the comments we've selected, but just were overwhelmingly present in these comment sections. One, of course, being, no, this is history.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the response that you get anytime somebody wants a Confederate monument, a.k.a. Confederate propaganda, taken down. No, it's history. We have to remember this history, and the history is, of course, that slavery was bad, and like that's what this monument to Confederate soldiers is representing.
Slavery was a bad thing, which is why we will memorialize these men who are trying to defend our right to continue to do the hard thing for the economy, the hard thing, and own slaves. It's not easy owning slaves. It's hard on the soul. But these men were ready to do it. They're ready to fight and die for it.
Yeah, so the specific history behind the Silent Sam monument, which is on the University of North Carolina campus, dates back to 1913. And I have here from the Washington Post. You can read along with if you want from the video feed. In 1913, Julian Carr, a prominent industrialist and supporter of the Ku Klux Klan. Interesting how those two things go together.
That's so insane.
Big-time businessman and racist.
Known racist, active racist, dues-paying racist.
Corporate owner and also hater of black people. Was invited to speak at the unveiling of a statue of a Confederate soldier on the campus of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It had been placed there by the Daughters of the Confederacy.
The sweet angels. Bless their hearts.
Carr's lengthy address made clear the symbolism of the statue. First, he credited Confederate soldiers with saving, quote, the very life of the Anglo-Saxon race in the South.
Oh, God.
Bummer.
And what a crazy way to put that.
Bummer. Should have just put them all down.
Yeah.
Adding, quote, today, as a consequence, the purest strain of the Anglo-Saxon is to be found in the 13 southern states. Praise God.
The purest. God damn.
I like this real corny Confederate accent I'm doing. I hope it doesn't become cartoonishly evil soon.
No. Keep going.
Then he went on to tell a personal story. I trust I may be pardoned for one allusion, howbeit it is rather personal, Carr said. 100 yards from where we stand, less than 90 days perhaps after my return from Appomattox, I horsewhipped a Negro wench until her skirts hung in shreds because upon the streets of this quiet village she had publicly insulted and maligned a Southern lady.
Ooh.
And then rushed for protection to these university buildings where was stationed a garrison of 100 federal soldiers. I performed the pleasing duty in the immediate presence of the entire garrison, and for 30 nights afterwards slept with a double-barreled shotgun under my head.
What a wild fucking thing.
That's like a fun anecdote James Carr gave at the invocation ceremony of this very monument.
If this monument was a monument to Mickey Mouse, but this speech was given before it, take that shit down. Gotta take it down. Gotta take it down.
I mean, I don't know if you know the history of Mickey Mouse, but there's some bad stuff in there too.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But they did that shit like on the low. Like they were on the low about it. He didn't like get up on podiums and have speeches about it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, just was disgustingly racist and anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And you hear that, you monsters, you annual pass holders, you monsters.
So if you listen to this speech, which I'm not going to repeat, he says that he, whipped a black woman on next to the campus, basically 100 yards, so probably still on the campus, in front of the federal soldiers that were there, presumably to try and keep slavery from popping up again. And so this statue literally is like a slap in the face to the federal soldiers that were garrisoned at the university. This is like, I don't care what you feds, you big government, think you're doing here. We remember what the kind of stuff we like.
That's so crazy. Like that jump in logic too. These soldiers defended the Anglo race, and I did my part too by beating a woman who insulted another person.
Yeah,
insulted, not assaulted, insulted.
Probably for very good reason.
And probably didn't even insult the woman. Probably was just like didn't make proper eye contact or made too much eye contact
looked
or
at
like
her accidentally.
Yeah, and then so he, it's fucking crazy. So crazy. And just feeling good about that, saying that in front of a crowd, a gathering.
Yeah, and that's all these Confederate statues. These Confederate statues are literally erected to fly in the face of any sort of reconciliation, to fly in the face of any sort of integration. These are like reminders to black communities of who holds the keys to erecting statues,
It's like don't question my racism. It's not like I just like listen to some bands that might have questionable themes. It's not like I just happen to have like, a Screwdriver record.
Uh-huh.
It's like I donated a lot of money to get this thing put in bronze.
Yeah, no, we love racism.
Exactly. I'm very into it. It's so crazy. It's shameless. So take it people were just happy to be rid of this, right?
Another thing that gets brought up in these comment sections, which is super fascinating to me, is, and I mean, when I say these comment sections, I mean comment sections around Confederate soldiers, but especially this monument, because this was a monument to like student soldiers. Silent Sam represents like young men who went off to fight and uphold slavery. And the response probably equal to the, you're erasing history if you, and it's like, this does represent history in that it represents the Jim Crow era when white people were trying to remind black people of their place. Like, that is an element of history, but that's not what's put on the invocation of this statue.
If the plaque read like, known bigot, upheld, like hated human rights. Yeah. If that's what the plaque read, that'd be a different story. But that's not what it says.
No, it's literally historical revisionism.
Yeah.
That's what all this Daughters of the Confederacy is. It's trying to whitewash the history of the Confederacy.
Listen, you can't help whose daughter you are. I just so happen to be a daughter of the Confederacy.
You should just rename as Daughters and write really good hardcore music.
I'll give that a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can figure out the hardcore thing. I might get really outside the box.
Yeah, well, eventually they all do,
Okay.
Another thing, though, is, of course, not only was he a Confederate soldier, more importantly, Silent Sam was a troop. Silent Sam represented the troops.
Was a troop. He was serving.
He was serving the country that he thought existed at the time.
We need to thank him for his serving, like, for the country.
For that country.
Oh, for that, yeah.
Yeah, he was serving a country, though.
That's my favorite thing. People forget that all the time. It's like, they were an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
That was treason. That was exactly treason.
But see, the thing is like, I don't care about treason, though, too.
That's true.
So, you get sucked down into, like, the nationalistic argument of, like, no, they're traitors to America, just like Putin.
I'm just trying to, appeal to their likings. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, that whole strain is, like, so flip-flop. Like, anytime there's a Democrat in power, they're proud treasonous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold water for them necessarily. But no, yeah, it was like a different country. Like, that's another country.
But they looked like us and spoke the same language, so it's different.
Absolutely. And I love how, like, willingly the cause is forgotten. Of course they'll say, oh, it wasn't about slavery, it was about states' rights or whatever. But even the more wishy-washy ones are the ones who don't want to acknowledge, like, the slavery of the South. Will say, no, he was just serving. Like, he didn't own slaves.
Yeah.
Did you know that most soldiers didn't own slaves? They just fought and died for the rights of their betters to own slaves.
Crazy.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not good.
If they owned slaves, they couldn't have left because who was going to take care of the slaves?
And it's like this, it taps into the American obsession with authority.
Yep.
Because, and we'll get into this in the next topic, it's more respectable for somebody to do abhorrent things as long as they were following orders than it is to do something outside the sort of hierarchical structure that's also horrible or even less horrible than upholding slavery.
Which has been, like, kind of proven wrong. There's that famous case study, the one with the electric shock thing where they had people shock somebody else in a room they couldn't see, and they did it because they were supposed to follow orders. But, like, that was kind of that one case was, like, kind of a exception. They did that same study like 30 times, and that was the one time it worked out that way. People are that's the whole evil case for evil, is like, well, you can do evil things if you're just told to because it's your job.
Yeah.
So they use a lot of that for, like, defense and, like, war crimes, right?
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that they did that same experiment like 30 times, and that was the one time it worked out that way. Every other time they're like, no, fuck off. Like, no, I'm not doing that. There are very specific circumstances they put into play to make that happen.
Well, I mean, you got to think about, like, all the pressures from an actual society versus the pressures from, like, a self-contained experiment.
Totally, yeah.
Otherwise, like, none of this shit would have ever happened because humans have some, like, innate rudder of goodness that guides them. No, it's like, obviously societal pressures or peer pressure or whatever can just totally make you, like, throw whatever, ethics or morals you had out the window or just manipulate them. No, but it's like, oh, it doesn't matter that he was fighting to uphold slavery. It doesn't matter. He was serving. He was serving that country. Where in the same token, like, Oh, that black dude was in a gang? Fuck no. Prison for life.
Forever.
For life.
Forever.
Oh, that brown dude? That brown dude was in the country. He was undocumented, deported.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Yes,
Like, all you have to do is have some sort of, like, governmental structure and you're following orders and then you're good. Like, it doesn't matter.
Like, I'm just going to, start a new gang, a legit street gang. Like, we're going to be actually bang on them. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use American flags as, like, our colors. It's
going to be so confusing.
Yeah, so we're going to be, like, regular old gangbangers. We're going to do the whole thing. But we're going to use American flags.
I mean, the American flag, this is...
I think we're just going to call ourselves troops. Just troops.
This might be an uphill battle for you, but I think, like... I think there's a lot of potential here. What are the colors in the American flag?
Red, white, and blue.
So you got the Bloods,
exactly,
Crips, and white people.
Boom. I'm talking
it's
about
beautiful.
It's called synergy, bro. Synergy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What if in the history classes of the future, because we're all destroying history here. Who could tell me what the red stripes represent on the flag? Well, they represent the sacrifice of the Bloods.
Yeah, of the Bloods, the actual Bloods. Now, I'm picturing like a whole ad campaign from like the army. It's all like, how about you join a real gang, a gang of brothers.
Band of brothers.
You tired of choosing between red and blue? Just throw a little white in there.
Dude, that's definitely a Dave Chappelle sketch, is Gang of Brothers instead of Band of Brothers on HBO.
It could be a Mean Death Cult sketch if we just get the financing. Just see if anybody
we'll have
wants
to get some different voice actors for for some additional.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's get into comments here. I just think it's really fascinating how, like, it doesn't matter what you did as long as, like, you were following orders.
As long as you're wearing a uniform.
Which we'll get into in the next topic for sure. Okay, let's get into comments here. So, WRAL-TV covered this on Facebook. Their post on this was one of the most viewed. And just, wow, real fascinating stuff. Martha Coley says, after scrolling through Facebook, I am so sad about the state of our lives.
Same. Also, I agree with that statement.
Kind of why Facebook exists, right? Yeah. Why is there so much hate and unhappiness in this world? So, like, hate is hate. Even if you're, like, hateful of hate, it's still a form of hate.
Yep.
Are all these people going to wake up tomorrow and be so happy suddenly because this statue is gone? No. They will move on to the next horrible thing that is bothering them. So sad!
Actually, I think the people that actually pulled the statue down themselves, they're going to be riding away for a minute.
Yeah.
Hopefully they chase that dragon. Hopefully they're going to keep on looking for something,
I mean, I think it's probably one of the worries I have about this is that people will fall into a sense of complacency for having done this awesome feat.
Yeah.
You could ride this wave for a year.
I'm good now. I don't do anything else.
Yeah, if you pulled this shit down, you'd be like, damn. Like, I'm sore the next day.
Yeah.
Like, I feel good. Yeah.
I earned it. Yeah.
Like, that's my only worry. No, I think, what is it we have here? No, they will move on to the next horrible thing that is bothering. Like, Martha is literally lamenting people fixing problems.
Yep. Totally.
They're just going to move on to the next roadblock and tear that down.
What are they going to do? Tear down more of these awful statues? We're going to have none left. And then what are they going to be mad about?
God, these people just keep finding problems and fixing them.
Obviously, they're not working for the state. Am I right?
God, they did it so efficiently, too. Another thing I want to mention is that a lot of people in these comment sections were like, while I do not agree with this statue, and I find this statue abhorrent, these protesters are nothing but criminals and thugs, and they should have filed the proper monument removal paperwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Before doing this.
Did anyone try filing a grievance? Is there an official grievance filed?
And literally, the governor of North Carolina in 2015 signed into law legislation that prohibited removing Confederate statues from public places.
These people are going to face a case.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to, yeah.
One person got arrested because they were wearing a mask. One person got arrested for covering their face at a public event.
I mean, maybe just don't be a punk and not cover your face at this event.
I guess.
No, it sucks. It sucks. Of course it sucks. They had to find something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, people have been protesting this specific statue for decades. After Martin Luther King's assassination, people protested this statue. Like, this has been an issue for a while.
It's been a minute. There was a book about it, like 1965. Like,
well, they should have written another book about it.
They should have made a movie out of that book.
K.C. Kim, what? C. Kim Lemieux says, no, they're not protesters. They're vandals, rioters. So responding to like WRAL's, labeling of the protesters. Even so, why should I care that Democrats are tearing down statues put up by Democrats to honor Democrats?
Got him.
This is so close to what I was asking for last week.
Yep.
Last episode this week. I need this shit. This is like when you tune a guitar and, like, you know how the farther away the notes are, like the slower the vibrations indicating a dissonance are, and then as you get closer and closer to those strings being in harmony, the waves vibrate faster and faster. This is almost reaching peak. This is almost merging. The two dissonant strings are almost merging into one.
What if it was sign at the end? Simplify.
I am 100% disabled Republican.
Just like the statue. I am the statue.
100% silent Republican. This is so close. It's so close to, like, saying that the South, the Confederates were like, it is mentioning that, but it's not. What do I need more than this?
Yeah.
I need somebody arguing with this person. I need an actual, like, Confederate son arguing with this person.
Yes, someone.
That's what I need.
Like, don't call me a Democrat. Like, we're not, Democrats. I don't know what that.
The party switched platforms.
Yeah.
Just the same thing every
don't
liberal
give
has
them
been
that credit.
saying. Yeah.
It's a sick burn.
Oh, and for in my Confederate Patriots of America page that I love that page so much. Just the phrase Confederate Patriots of America.
It's very good.
It's just so fascinating to me.
It makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense.
We're Patriots of America, but not the one you're not.
Yeah, it's the other one.
It's the one we really want to happen.
Yeah, the one that doesn't exist. I commented, I was like, if these people want to forget the Civil War, maybe we should remind them. And I got 3 likes from.
Yep. Maybe we should have another Civil War.
Yeah.
Maybe we should enslave people and defend that.
Let's go back, Jack, and do it again.
Run it.
Run it back.
You do know that if inclement weather and other things had a lot to do with why they lost, they could have won. If I had a time machine, I could make them win, and our economy would be booming.
You know, the fact that Lincoln was alive was just like a real big strength for them.
It really was. It wasn't fair.
I feel like with Trump in power, things might go a little differently.
Oh, definitely.
Just either way you want to play that, whether he sides with them or whether he even tries to go against them. Like, either way, Trump is.
Either way, he'd win.
Okay.
Either way, he'd win. That's all I know.
Elaine Lofton Jonas says, hope their parents are really proud of their spoiled brats. Mm-hmm. What will happen when they try pulling down some object they don't like on their job later on in life?
What is this hypothetical job?
This is the most boomer take ever. I fucking love it.
I think in their mind, they're like, is that what happens at McDonald's every single time you want ice cream? Some kid in there was like, nope, pulled it down.
Sorry, ice cream machine dismantled.
Yep. And then they just call the ice cream machine racist. This ice cream machine is racist.
What is it? McFlurry? Is that what it's called?
I don't know if that's the same machine. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Sorry, McFlurry machine disposed.
Exactly.
Deposed.
What are you gonna do? Put a bunch of banners around your McFlurry machine?
Understandable. Have a nice day. That's the most boomer shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't like something? What are you gonna do? Just tear it down?
You're gonna do at work.
What happens when you get an F in class? Are you just gonna tear that F down?
You know, to be real, like Elaine, if schools were free, if people can go to school for free, this probably wouldn't have happened.
How so?
I mean, we'd also be living in a world where school's free, so they wouldn't have the statue in the first place. I feel like you got to become like real on race before you do free school.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kitty Turner Clark says.
So we don't actually read the comments. We just find great names and then just hope they had something like fire for us, and it works.
Kitty Turner Clark says, I wonder if one of these idiots were hurt when they pulled Silent Sam down. Would they then try and sue UNC? No doubt they would win because this world is going straight to hell.
Hypotheticals are the best.
Love it.
What they did wasn't even bad enough. Yeah. What if they would have sued him for this?
What if Silent Sam had brushed up against one of their butts as it fell down? I bet they would cry rape.
Bet they would.
Bet they would sue the UNC for rape.
They'd probably Me Too it. And then Silent Sam would never get another job again. He'd be blackballed.
What would happen if when Silent Sam fell down, he landed on a black kid? But they would call it racist.
They wouldn't even stand for class anymore.
Okay, last comment, and it's an interesting one. So Tabitha is responding to somebody else who relayed that invocation I gave at the top of this episode, the very uncomfortable anecdote about horsewhipping a black woman. Somebody relayed that in the comment section, was like, oh, hey, no, this is like racist. Like, this whole thing is racist. Like, you should, you guys are very concerned about history. Maybe like listen to this historical recollection of what happened. And Tabitha says, and you were there at this dedication? Or is this information you heard secondhand?
Yes, I was there.
What?
I'm 105 years old.
Was this information firsthand, or did you read it in a book somewhere? Just like fucking nonsense.
Did you witness with your own eyes? That's wild. That's
just
wild.
Like, by pulling down this statue, you're refusing to acknowledge history. Also, just like anything that's ever been written down is untrue. It's not verifiable.
Listen, did you actually see it, or was this like some sort of like divine inspiration? Because that's cool. But if you just heard about it somehow, I can't believe it.
Did God come to you in a dream and tell you this? No, I love this. I love this. Like, no, you're wrong. Like, racism never existed.
Yeah.
Like, that's the argument here. Is it no, it's a liberal conspiracy that anyone was ever racist.
Yeah, no, it's never happened. It's pure coincidence.
The fact that the secession papers, the secession documents mention slavery, it's not true. It's secondhand. It's secondhand information.
Honestly, that has nothing to do with the right, like with race. It's just like workers' rights.
It's supervisors' rights.
Yep.
Which supersede workers' rights. Or is this information you heard secondhand? Racism is hate. Welcome to being racist.
That's my favorite line. Welcome to being racist. Come on in. The water's just fine.
Welcome to being racist. Can I give you an order?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Can you look over the menu? I can be right back.
Like, people complain about the left changing the definition of racism to say, like, oh, it involves, like, you know, power dynamics and stuff like that, which is, you know, debatable. But no, just hate. Any hate is racism, according to Tabitha.
Yep.
You claiming that somebody in the past who gave public racist comments, you claiming that they are racist is itself racist.
It's now racist. Wait, are you saying that guy's racist? The guy saying things about black people is racist just because he's white? That's racism.
Sounds pretty racist.
Wow.
Sounds racist.
Wow. It's just like saying, excuse me, takes one to know one. See? Don't you realize that? I just live. I don't see those things.
So I was fascinated by this comment. I was like, what kind of soft-brained mushhead could make this comment? And so I clicked around on Tabitha's profile and found some damning evidence from Tabitha. It's like, why does she care so much about the Confederacy? What does it have that she likes so much? And this is Tabitha's profile picture. So Tabitha, just an interesting profile picture in and of itself. She's posing with a man who's wearing an extremely outdated coat of a gray nature.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Interesting.
The cover photo is her posing with her family, all dressed as like 1940s sailors. I believe American sailors.
Yeah, absolutely. I think American sailors.
It's her husband or her partner, and their two sons, all wearing like sky blue button-up shirts and like the funny
like the
sailor
Navy
hat.
cap.
Yeah. And her bio says, "Life is magical."
So she's a history buff. So she's invested in this. Like military history, things like that. That's
with the cover photo and the profile?
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I like the "life is magical." I mean, clearly like in touch with the black community and specifically like the magical Negro.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Really understanding that demographic.
She hashtags a lot of her things like Black Girl Magic. Wish I had some.
And so I was looking at more photos from her. Oh, okay. Here's her and her family.
Okay.
Wearing very outdated clothing. In fact, it looks like they're reenacting the Civil War.
Just a little bit. A little bit.
I would say the colors on her husband and son's coats probably gray. Which side was the gray coats?
I'm pretty sure it was the wrong side. I'm pretty positive that the gray coats were the rebels, the good old fashioned rebels.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Maybe she just is not good at laundry. Maybe these were like a deep navy blue at some point, and she just.
Okay.
Sure,
that could be a theory. I like that theory. And I was looking at her older son, and I was like, this guy looks kind of cool. Like, this kid looks cool.
Like, maybe he's tight, yeah.
Maybe he's tight. Like, how does he feel? Because he looks about, like, 17. And I was like, how does he feel about having to dress up in this, like, this Confederate cosplay shit?
There's no way he likes it. I mean, like, his contemporaries are, like, the backpack kid. Like, there's no way he's into this.
So I clicked around on his profile, and okay,
more modern stuff.
I thought he was cool, and I was right.
Super cool.
I was right.
Sailor boy.
Here he is, dressed up as a sailor, on his own profile. This was his profile picture, holding a submachine gun of some kind from the 1930s and 1940s. And wearing, like you said, a very specific sailor outfit. Let's zoom in here onto the emblem on the breast of this sailor unit. Okay. Looks kind of like an eagle.
Interesting.
Clutching a circle. Let's zoom in again. Oh, okay. It's
shit.
It's a Nazi emblem with the swastika inside.
It's the notorious Navy Nazis, the Nazi Navy.
I mean, yeah. We've all seen UB-40.
Exactly. Like, what a crazy, You're just gonna openly cosplay like this?
I really wish I could have gotten the combination of this photo and the Blue Lives Matter flag as his cover photo, because he had those two things at one point, but it was like just in his history, and I couldn't like get a picture of both of them together.
Wow.
I felt like it would have been.
That's some beautiful confirmation.
Yeah, I felt like it would have been illustrative.
It's another weird thing. Like, Nazis shouldn't like cops either.
No, they
Like,
became
Nazis
cops.
shouldn't. Yeah,
they definitely should.
Oh yeah, I guess now, huh?
Yeah.
But I just feel like I don't know. I feel like they're not supposed to. Like I feel like skinheads and stuff wouldn't like them.
I mean, some of them do, and some of them don't. Like some of them just are. Like,
But now you don't have to be like you don't have to be like rough around the edges to be like a skinhead Nazi anymore. You could be like a cute kid who like likes to cosplay.
That's true. But did you know, Tony, that some of those who burn crosses also work forces?
Damn.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, no, I feel like maybe they're just going with the age-old adage, those who don't reenact history are doomed to repeat it.
So they're just trying to get it out of their system.
Yeah, I feel like they're remembering history really hard.
If I just pretend to like embrace mass genocide, like I won't actually do it. It's like when you write a letter of just hateful things and you throw it in a fire. It's gone. It's gone. You know?
Yeah. So just very interesting people that we have. And I feel like, her and her family, like they have a vested interest in whitewashing the Confederacy because, hey, if Confederate soldiers were really upholding the institution of slavery and the ownership of other people, like maybe it wouldn't be that cool to dress up as them and pretend to be them or pretend to be Nazis.
Again, it's so weird because like wrong team. You don't get to like pick two teams there. They're dressed up as like, I guess they're both enemies of the state, right? They're both enemies of America.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I don't know. I feel like anybody who had an understanding of sort of the gravity of either of those wars just wouldn't feel comfortable, dressing up as the antagonist.
He posed for this picture and put it on his profile.
Yeah, this was his profile picture.
Were there comments on it?
Yeah, it was like, oh, look at that cute son. My cute boy.
He's cute.
I thought he would be cooler than this.
I really want him to be.
Okay. Next topic.